So I will start off, and first of all, we'll have a look at the volatility index. So those of you who are on last week's session will recall we talked about the calm before the storm on the volatility index. And this is the volatility index with a number of different indicators which we utilize at the Gold and Silver Club. And you can see here where over the last week, it's come right out of this support zone. In fact, Friday, the FBI investigation and probe into Hillary Clinton's emails has been the catalyst for a break back from the lower end of the trend channel. We've seen good support, significant rally here. And you can see over the last few days where we've come back from support on a number of different indicators, and we are back towards the resistance zones going back to August here. It's broken out quite significantly to 7-week highs here on the VIX. Now, also note what the VIX did over the course of this year at other major news items. This is the breakout that we had over the course of Brexit. We had a significant move higher. At the beginning of the year, when we had one of the worst performing weeks for the stock markets, global equities in January, we had this increased move on the VIX as well. Volatility index increased significantly. And then prior to that as well, going back to August last year, where we saw a huge move to the downside on global equities. Again, this is where the VIX shot up significantly. I would definitely be watching out for this. Obviously, uncertainty in the markets, unpredictability causes the VIX to go up. And you've got a very clear inverse correlation there with the equities and also a strong correlation with gold and silver. So we've seen the S&P 500 on volatility, fear in the market increasing, has now broken down. It broke through the 2100 zone just yesterday. You can see pennant formation has broken lower. We've been rolling over now with the S&P 500 for the last couple of months, going back to September here, where it's failed to break out from this trend channel. And then over this week has really been where we've had the breakdown, breaking through key support back towards the lows of July here. And you can see where we're just getting very close to a retest of the 200-day moving average. But ultimately, we closed below support yesterday. And you can see that very clearly with increased uncertainty, with a possible Trump victory, what we could be in store for on equities, on volatility. And then, of course, we've had a breakout on both gold and silver over the last few days as well. So gold broke back above 1,300 US dollars yesterday. It's currently sitting at 1,293 US dollars, which I'll come back to in a second. We can just move over now and have a look at silver too. So silver has broken back up towards its upper end of a trend channel, formed a rejection candle yesterday, pulled back after the FOMC statement, which left interest rates unchanged. However, they did hint that they would be in a position to increase interest rates in December, the Reserve, if we were to see additional strong data coming out from the US. Now, of course, we've got non-farm payrolls tomorrow. We've got several news items coming out over the course of the US session today. We'll be watching this very carefully. Now, ideally, for those of you who might be looking to position yourself with some breakout trades on the precious metals as we go into the US election, uncertainty and so forth, we welcome pullbacks at the moment on the precious metals. It's got into a short-term overbought condition. You can see here where silver has reached the upper end of a trend channel. Note where it found support exactly at the 50% Fibonacci retracement level. We found support at the 200-day moving average. We consolidated throughout the whole of October, and then we created a pop to the upside, popped above this level just at the beginning of the week on Monday and Tuesday. In fact, Monday created an inside candle, Tuesday pop higher. We've continued to follow this trade through, following on from non-farm payrolls at the beginning of this month. We've still got a position on silver. We took some profits yesterday when we hit our initial profit target at the upper end of this trend channel, but we are holding on to a trade here as well, just in case we get a runaway move prior to the election. We'll see what happens with non-farm payrolls tomorrow